Today, we will recap the 2015 sci-fi action movie called Selfless, where a rich billionaire on the verge of death acquires the body of a young man. So let's get started. Billionaire Damien Hale is a famous business figure possessing every luxury. However, his situation worsens when he gets diagnosed with terminal cancer. He is informed that he can live no more than 6 months. As Damien lies on his deathbed, he encounters a business card guiding him to Professor Albright. This individual introduces Damien to an unconventional medical procedure named shedding. This cutting-edge technique involves transferring one's consciousness into a specially cultivated, healthy artificial body, all of which is developed in the laboratory. Though intrigued, Damien departs from Albright's office without committing to a decision. Knowing that he doesn't have much time to live, Damien decides to visit his daughter Claire, who runs a non-profit organization in the city. Damien and his daughter are not on good terms since he negated her career choices. Damien hides his illness from his daughter and offers her money for her organization, but this aggravates her further because her father uses money to fix things. One day, Damien looks up information about Dr. Francis Jensen, an expert in the field of shedding, and suddenly succumbs to a collapse, causing blood to splatter onto his laptop screen. In his nursing facility, Damien reaches out to Dr. Albright, finally agreeing to undergo the shedding procedure. However, Albright emphasizes that once Damien takes on his new form, there's no going back to his previous existence. He's cautioned to avoid meeting anyone from his past, and Albright underlines that he needs to have a public death. The death is to be staged in a New Orleans restaurant. Preparations are made, and Damien readies himself for the transformation, making his way to New Orleans. However, before heading to the restaurant, he stops at a cemetery to bury a metal box. At the restaurant, he reunites with his business partner Martin, engaging in a lunch meeting. As they sip their coffee, Damien collapses to the floor, succumbing to a sudden drowsiness. The ambulance, sent by Albright, takes Damien to the lab. Upon reaching, the doctors and scientists check Damien's whole body to see if there is any metal inside it, as the machine that they'll use for shedding uses magnetism, so any metal can hinder the whole process. After the process is completed, Damien finds himself in a new body, a young Damien. The authorities then start working on his training, and he begins to learn how to walk, swim, etc., all the abilities that he lost in a nearly death experiment. Albright prescribes some pills to Damien to ease hallucinations, migraines, and nausea, which are the usual side effects of the transformation procedure. The lab organization also generates an entirely new identity for him, giving a new name, Edward Kidner, who is supposed to be born on September 20th, 1980, in Phoenix, Arizona. They plan his entire backstory, a lonely man whose family died in a car accident. After getting a new, improved young body, Damien starts a fresh life in New Orleans under the identity of Edward Kidner's pseudonym. He starts hanging out in the neighborhood, playing basketball with the locals at a court nearby. There, he meets a guy named Anton, who is a divorced father of 2 girls. Anton offers to take him clubbing to make him feel belonged in his new neighborhood. Damien goes partying and enjoys luxuries and women while he lives a new life. However, missing a day of medication triggers hallucinations. Damien envisions himself participating in a military operation and sees snapshots of a mother caring for her child. He sees broken images and visions of a pumpkin-shaped water tower and a house. When he talks to Albright about these visions, seeing a daughter asking for help, the doctor dismisses them as mixed-up memories that are generated by some of his past emotions and his disconnected bond with his own daughter Claire. Albright adds that the Latina woman he saw during the hallucination might have been a person he had a short-term involvement or a one-night stand with in the past. Damien suddenly catches Albright slipping, saying that he never specified that the woman he saw in his hallucinations was a Latina. Changing the topic, Albright hands him a ticket to Hawaii for a change of environment. He provides a larger dose of medication, assuring him that as long as he remembers to take them, he won't experience more hallucinations. Damien packs for Hawaii and senses that something is wrong. He opens his laptop and searches online for a pumpkin-shaped water tower, finding a picture exactly like he saw in the visions. he discovers the water tower's location is in St. Louis, Missouri. Before going to the airport, he makes a stop at the cemetery to retrieve a buried box. At the airport terminal, he purchases a flight ticket to St. Louis, intending to locate the water tower and the woman he saw. Upon reaching the St. Louis Tower, Damien notices a nearby house and enters it. Going through the mail, he finds out that the woman living there is Madeline Bitwell. Damien is taken aback when he discovers a photo of himself with Madeline and her child. He learns from the pictures that the previous inhabitant of his current body had a military background. While he's looking at the photos, Madeline enters the house with a gun, but her behavior changes to tears as she recognizes Damien as her supposedly dead husband, Mark. While Madeline tries to grasp the situation on how her husband is alive, a man knocks on the door asking for Edward Kidner. When Damien opens the door, he finds Anton accompanied by two men who take care of Madeline. Anton discloses his collaboration with Dr. Albright and sheds light on how Damien ended up in possession of Mark's body. Anton explains that Mark had approached Phoenix Biogenic after his insurance company refused to cover his daughter's medical expenses. Wanting a moment to himself, Damien pretends to need the bathroom for taking medicine. Once inside, he swiftly attacks one of the henchmen, eliminating him. From the window, Damien witnesses the arsonist setting Madeline's car on fire. Damien attacks another henchman before Anton instructs him to come out of the bathroom for a peaceful negotiation. A confrontation unfolds in the bathroom, leading to a fight during which the medicine is lost. Ultimately, Damien forces Anton out of the house while he retreats back inside. Anton, standing outside the house, asks the arsonist to burn the entire building. As the fire engulfs the residence, Damien gets Madeline and the two escape from an underground vent in the house. Unnoticed by Anton and his men, Damien manages to shoot the arsonist, who ends up burning Anton accidentally. Anton jumps in a water tub to extinguish the flames. While making their way to a van, Damien reveals that Mark struck a deal with Phoenix Biogenic to save his daughter, Anna. Part of this arrangement involved disappearing, as he had undertaken certain actions that wouldn't have been possible if he remained alive. The two of them escape to pick up their daughter, Anna, from school. The whole family stops at a motel before leaving for New Orleans. Damien conducts an online investigation about Dr. Jensen, the person responsible for creating shedding. He discovers a video associated with Dr. Jensen. While watching the video, Damien makes an observation. The scientist has a habitual gesture that reminds him of Albright, particularly when Albright adjusts his glasses. He sees the video again and finds Albright sitting next to Dr. Jensen as his assistant. This realization hits Damien, who concludes that Jensen has taken control of Albright's body. As Damien had lost his necessary medication during the fight, he begins to experience hallucinations. During this state, he recollects a memory involving Mark's encounter with Albright in the laboratory. Driven by his determination, Damien returns to New Orleans to meet Phyllis, Dr. Jensen's wife, who is affected by Alzheimer's disease. Damien adopts the guise of a student studying under Jensen to extract information about accessing her husband's research. Unfortunately, Phyllis is unaware of the location of these records. Damien, however, learns that Albright pays Phyllis regular visits, bringing her favorite candies. Exploiting this information, Damien convinces Phyllis to contact Albright and invite him over. When Albright arrives, Damien uses his gun to blackmail him and demand more pills. This is when Albright begins to disclose the truth about the medication. Besides hallucinations, the pills also preserve his consciousness. Without this treatment, Albright's mind will deteriorate, and Mark's consciousness will return and settle. However, the catch is that each pill erases portions of Mark's memories, including his military training and instincts. Continuing this medication will ultimately result in Mark's permanent disappearance within a year. Damien asks Albright to take him back to the lab, but one of Albright's henchmen manages to disarm Damien as they exit the house. While walking towards the door, Damien begins to experience hallucinations once more. More assassins appear when Damien manages to escape. He notices one of the attackers wearing Anton's necklace and realizes that this new attacker is actually a transformed Anton. Anton discloses that he has undergone multiple transformations and shedding, that he is now used to it. Madeline joins the fight, taking on another henchman and rescuing Damien. Together, they manage to flee safely. At a rest stop, Madeline confronts her supposed husband, Mark, about his behavior and lack of familiarity with their personal details. Damien reveals that he has taken control of Mark's body, informing Madeline that her husband is no longer alive. Recognizing the danger posed by Albright and his men, Damien offers to assist Madeline and her child. The trio seeks refuge at Martin's residence, requesting his help to leave the country. Damien explains his survival after a transformative process to Martin, who initially doubts the claim. Damien proves his identity by showing a property deed from their first joint purchase and recounting memories of their initial successful business deal. Convinced that Damien now inhabits a different body, Martin arranges for a plane. During the waiting period, Damien takes the opportunity to teach Anna how to swim. After the lesson, Anna follows a faint sound and discovers a hidden corridor. Damien and Madeline become concerned when they find that all the mirrors in the house have been concealed. Upon entering a room filled with toys, they find Anna playing with a young boy. Damien takes Anna and informs Madeline that the young boy playing with her is Tony, Martin's son, who passed away 2 years ago. When questioned, Martin admits he had reached out to Phoenix Biogenics after Tony's death. He shares with Damien that Phoenix's agents are already stationed outside his property. As Martin tries to defend his actions, Damien informs him that the bodies Phoenix Labs give are not entirely grown artificially, but are other human bodies stolen from living people. After learning the reality of shedding and the crime Phoenix Biogenics are committing, Martin agrees to assist Damien in creating a diversion, enabling Madeline and Anna to escape. The plan proves successful as Damien manages to draw the attention of the henchmen towards himself, allowing the mother and daughter to flee safely. Unfortunately, during their forest escape, Albright's men capture Madeline and Anna. Damien and Martin find themselves uncertain about Albright's whereabouts. Damien decides to discontinue his medication in hopes of triggering more memories and visions that might lead them to Albright. This approach succeeds, leading Damien to find Albright's lab located within an abandoned warehouse. In this lab, Albright captures Damien and tries to shed Anton into Mark's body. However, Damien recalls that metal interferes with the shedding process. He places a bullet casing in his mouth, hindering the procedure and unintentionally causing Anton's demise. Damien rescues Madeline and Anna and confronts Albright once again. Albright discloses that if he is killed, no one will know about the pills and how they are made. However, Damien finds the chemical formula of the pills in the lab and ends Albright with a blowtorch. Damien arranges for Madeline and Anna to depart the country as previously planned, with the assistance of Martin. He later meets his own daughter, Claire, introducing himself as a friend of her father. In a heartfelt letter, Damien expresses his emotions and reconciles with Claire. Afterward, he travels to the Caribbean and discontinues his medication, ending his life and conscience as Damien forever. The original Mark eventually reawakens in his body and discovers a videotape recorded by Damien in that body, telling everything. Mark visits his family, Anna and Madeline, at the beach they are residing at. The family is finally reunited. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.